Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this shirt and short. The shirt is slightly big, and then you have the short, and the shirt length I'm going to be working with, I want to make it look almost like the thumbnail. And if you look at the thumbnail, you'll find that the shirt is quite long, almost as the same length as where the short is on her. So I'm going to start with the shirt. So the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two. As you can see, I have my front panel folded and the back panel folded. So I'm using a color fabric here. You might need about 2.5 yards of fabric. The first thing I did here is to cut out these two here, and I already know the length I want. Like I said, you can make yours shorter, but I have 30 inches here. That includes 1.5 inch of seam allowance for me. That's to fold 1 inch to fold the edge and 1/2 inch to join the top part. So when I'm done, this shirt should be about 28.5 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and insert my shoulder measurement. So you're going to, but the width here, let me tell you guys what the width is 40. My chest measurement, which is 42, divided by 4 is going to be 10.5, but then I added extra 1 inch of seam allowance and 1 inch of ease. So it's going to be 12.5 width is what I have here. So you're going to go up here, insert your shoulder. The shoulder I'm working with is 16, divided by 2 is going to be 8. Mark that here. Come down here, mark 1 inch of your shoulder slope, and then you insert your armhole. The armhole I'm working with is 18, divided by 2 is going to be 9. Somewhere here, mark it this way, and then I'm going to give it a curve this way for the armhole. And then the next thing you're going to do is just to mark 3 inches of neckline here. And then you're going to come down here, mark 1 inch for the back neckline, and then 3 inches for the front neckline. So I'm going to connect it this way. Give it a curve here, and then also give it a curve this way. And then connect this shoulder slope to this top part here. And guys, that's basically how I cut my shirt. This is done. I'm going to just go ahead, follow this way, cut this out, cut this shoulder slope, cut out this part. So I've gone ahead, cut out the shoulder slope, cut out the back neckline, cut out the armhole. So now I'm going to separate the two of them so I can make some changes to the front. But right now the back panel is done. This is how the back panel is going to be. So set it aside, no changes made to it. Now the front panel, I'm going to first go ahead and check my sleeve armhole length, which is 9 inches. Half of it is 4.5. Come in here by 1/2 inch, and then connect it with a straight line down to this point, and then also give it a curve this way. So I'm going to remove some part of this front armhole now, just so my sleeve will fit better. So now that I've removed it, I'm also going to cut out this front neckline. Now that that is done, I'm going to split open the front so that I can have the 2 piece for my shirt, because remember, your shirt is 1 piece at the back, 2 piece in front. So I'm going to split open this part here. So guys, this is it here. This is the back of my shirt. This is the front of my shirt here. And as you can see, I have 2 pieces for the front here. So now I'm going to cut out what I'll use as my placket for this shirt, because I need to attach the placket for the button. And then I'm also going to cut my sleeve. So guys, the next thing I'm going to cut now is my sleeve. The width here I have here is basically your armhole divided by 2. So next thing you have to do is to come down here by like 4 inches. I'm going to make this a turn-up sleeve, because if you look closely at the picture, you will see that it looks like a turn-up sleeve. So that's why the length I'm using here for my sleeve is about 9 inches, because I made it shorter because I'm still going to make it turn up. If I make it long and then add the turn up, it will make sense, because most times when you turn up, when you fold your sleeve, is normally to shorten the sleeve. So I can make it a long sleeve, like maybe make it maybe 12 inches almost up to my elbow, and then add turn up at the end. It will look nice. So the main point is just to shorten the sleeve so that when you add the turn up, it looks like you're wearing a shirt and you turned up the sleeve. That's the whole point of it. So I came down 4 inches from here. I'm going to mark from this point here to the edge of this. Find the center, which is like 6 inches for me, and then give it a curve above and a curve below. So this is basically now my sleeve. Then at the end of this part here, you're going to insert your round sleeve measurement. So for me, I'm working with 15 because I want it free. Divided by 2 is going to be 7.5, plus 1 inch of seam allowance is going to be here. I'm going to connect it. So now all I have to do is to just cut this out. So guys, I've cut this out, so you see what it looked like before, this way, and then I cut this out from here and remove this one from here. So now this is my sleeve. All I have to do is to join the shoulder of my shirt together, and then I'm going to insert my sleeve to the two sides. And how you make a turn-up sleeve, I'm going to show you guys. So I already have a video on how to make a turn-up sleeve, but basically what you're going to do to make your turn-up sleeve is just take your sleeve the way it is, open it up, and then you're going to cut out depending on the length you want to use. Let's say you want to use about 4 inches, which is okay. So let's say you decide to use 4 inches. You're going to fold it, and the width of this is 4 inches. You're going to fold it into 2. Make sure you're using fabric that is the length of the end of your sleeve, and then you're going to take it from the inside this way, and then you're going to sew it down all the way. You're going to make a stitch all the way, halfway through, like all the way to the end, using half an inch to join it. Once you're done, you're going to flip it this way, and that is your turn-up sleeve. It's going to fold on top of your sleeve this way, and then you close up the edge of your sleeve. So I'm going to do mine now, join my sleeve to the shirt, and then we'll come back and make the placket. This side of the shirt is done, so I've put in the sleeve, but before I put this one, I wanted to show you guys what it would look like. So you see what I was saying, you're going to place your sleeve, this is the right side of my sleeve, and then you're going to sew this down this way, the turnover sleeve. So once you turn it over now, you're going to iron it down so that once you attach it to your sleeve, you will have the turn up sleeve. So this is going to go to this side of this part. But for the placket, I already made a video also on how to insert this placket. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut 2 pieces of fabric the same length as the length of your placket that you're working with. One is going to be 3 inches, the other one is going to be 2 inches, or you can do, if you use a lot of seam allowances, then you can do 3.5 for one and 2.5 for one. So what you're going to do is the one that is going to be 3 inches or 3.5, any one you decide to use, is going to be on one side, and then you're going to use it to sew it down this way. You're going to use half an inch to sew it down, and then once you sew it down, you're going to use this other one to cover it. So it's going to come out this way. This is going to form the bottom part, right? And then the next one, which is the one where you're going to attach the 2 inches one, you're going to just sew it down this way from the inside like this. Once you sew it down like one straight stitch, then you turn it over on top of it. Remember, you're going to be sewing it on the right side. Like you're going to use the right side of your cloth. You're going to take it this way, sew it down like this. It's going to be long enough to go down to the end, and then once you sew it down with half an inch, you bring it up this way, and then you're going to tuck in the other half side of it and then sew it down. That way you've made your placket. So I'm going to do mine now. I've joined this, and now I'm going to attach the neckline. As you can see, like I said, the one with the 3 inches, you're just going to attach it to one side, and just make sure you fold the edge like this, and then you just attach it to one side like this. So this is basically helping you extend one side of it. The one with the 3 inches or 3.5 is just to extend this one, and then once you extend this side, as you can see, this is the extension here with this, and then once you extend it, the other flap is just to help you make the placket to turn over, like to lay on top of this one. So what you're going to do is the one with the 2 inches, you're just going to take it, sew it down this way, with just like half an inch or less than that, and then you're going to flip it on top of it, and then fold the edge this way and sew it down. And then after that, you're also going to make another stitch very close to the end. So that's basically how you make the placket here. And once you're done, you're going to measure around the neckline. So I started from this end here, measured it all the way around to this end. I got 18 inches, and then I measured the 18 inches. So this here is 18 inches from the end, but I added extra 1 inch, which is 19 inches, so that I can use it to close up the 2 ends. I'm just going to give it this collar, but you can make the normal two layered collar, but I'm just going to make it, it's still going to be folded, but it's just going to be the easier way to just make it one collar. So all I'm going to do now is the fold here. I want my collar to be 3.5 inches when I'm done. Sorry, 3 inches when I'm done. So that's why I made it 3.5 inches on a fold. So half an inch here is going to be to join it to this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and close up the 2 edge here, and then flip it inside out. So guys, as you can see, I've closed up the two ends now, so I'm going to flip it inside out, and then this is going to be my collar. All I have to do, you can go ahead at this point and iron it. If you have a stay, you can even iron in your stay before you do this. And then the next thing you have to do is just to fold the edge, fold in 1/2 inch on both sides here, just to have a clean end here, just like this. You see how this is? Fold it all the way to the end, and then you're going to take this part of your collar, put it inside of this here, just like that, and sew it all the way around. So I'm going to put this in between here and then sew it all the way to the other end. So another thing you can go ahead and do is just to make a stitch at the very end of this whole collar. Just make a stitch all the way down to this part, just at the edges, a continuous stitch. So but now mine is done, so this particular shirt is done. All I have to do is put in the button on this one and then put in the buttonhole on the one on top. You see it has the collar, it has the folded sleeve. If you want, you can just fold your sleeve and be done with it. So this is the shirt now. So now we'll move over to the short. So for the short, this is what I'm using for my front panel. So basically the width I have here is just the hip measurement divided by 4 plus like extra 3 inches. So that is what I have here. The hip I'm working with is 48, divided by 4 is 12, plus 3 inches is 15, which is the fold of this thing. So now all we have to do is just to go ahead and insert your waist to your waist to the hip. So this length I have here is just 16 inches at the moment, but I'm still going to take away 1 inch here to fold it and 1/2 inch to join it at the waist. So and then I'm also going to insert 2 inches of band. So in total my pants will still end up at probably this 16 inches too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and mark my waist to my, so the waist to crotch I'm working with should be about 11 inches down here. So on this line now I'm going to go ahead and insert my I'm going to go ahead on this line and insert my hip measurement divided by 4. So the hip I'm working with is going to be 12, because it's 48 divided by 4 is 12. So I'm going to mark that here. So guys, I'm also going to link a detailed tutorial on how to make this part short and on how to insert the pocket, how to the perfect way to make it, because in this video I'm just going to just run through the whole thing. So now I'm going to also go ahead and insert give it a curve at this point. So this is my pants now. I'm going to just go ahead and cut out this part and split this open. As you can see, I didn't insert any seam allowance. All I did is fold my fabric, divide my hip measurement by 4, and then extended the crotch by 3 with 3 inches. If you're more on the smaller size or medium, you can do 2.5, but this is like large, extra large. So that's all I did. The crotch I have here is 3 inches. If you want to know how I got that 3 inches, that measurement, that remaining 12 inches I got after dividing my hip by 4, you can divide it by another 4 inches. You will see that it's 3 inches. So that's how I got what I have here. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut this part out of this part. So guys, after that, you're also going to split this side open. Easiest way to make a short. And then the next thing you're going to do, you see we have our front panel. I'm also going to insert a dart here because I want to make the front to have band, but the back will have elastic. If you don't want to do that, then all you have to do is just go ahead and cut your back panel and just pass a casing all over it and pass your elastic. No need for the darting. But because I want my waist to have a band in front, as you can see, I didn't insert my waist measurement here, but I'm just going to add a dart to help define the waist. So I'm just going to come in here by 4.5 inches here, and then my dart is going to stop like about like 7 inches down to this point here. So this is where my dart is going to stop, 1/2 inch on each side, and then this is going to be my dart. I'm going to notch this stop part here just to help me know where the dart is going to be, both for both sides of the front. So this is it here. I'm going to now fold my fabric again to cut the back panel. So guys, as you can see, I've placed my back panel, my front panel here with my fabric folded again. This is my back panel. So all I have to do is I just extended the lines here so it can be visible. So the only difference at the back now is that I went up at the back by about 2.5 inches for the back so that it can contain the butt at the back. So this is it here. I marked it on a straight line all the way here. And then on this crotch part, I also extended it by 2.5. So I'm going to move this so the 2.5 can fit in here. So I'm going to extend it by 2.5, but if you are a small person, 2 inches can do. So I'm going to just extend this one by 2.5 here, and then after that I'm going to mark 2 inches. This is going to be my seam allowance. If you use a lot of if you use a lot of seam allowance, then you can do 2.5, but I'm just going to use half an inch to join it all the way around, and that is what I'm going to do here. 2.5 is what I'm going to use all the way. So you're extending it from where this is where my front panel stops. So from that distance I'm adding extra 2.5 inches all the way, 2.5 inches all the way, and then after that I'm going to come down to the crotch and give it a curve. And then on this line here I'm also going to extend it all the way to this extension here to contain the butt, and then from there you're going to blend this line to the edge of your cloth, to the edge of where your front pattern ends. You see, this is where my front pattern ends. So I'm going to an angle form, I'm going to connect from this point to the edge of that, because this is where the side of the pant is going to be. So the sides are going to meet each other. So you want to blend it down so that where the two of them meet, the lines are the same. The line and the length are the same. So I'm just going to connect it all the way down this way in an angle. I've marked it. So now this is just my back panel. I'm going to go ahead, cut this part out all the way, and then cut this out. So guys, if you want your pant to be free, another thing you can do is when you measure your hip measurement, add maybe 1 or 2 inches to it if you want it free, like the one on the thumbnail. But if you want to use exactly your hip measurement and you want the pant to be fitted like that, just use your hip measurement divided by 4 when you're starting with the front panel. But if you want room to it, when you're starting, you have to start adding the you have to add the extra from the front panel. So you can add extra 1 inch to your hip measurement. If you're working with 48, you can do 49, so that way you can accommodate space for, like, if you want room in your pants, you don't want it to fit it. But now this is what I'm working with. So all I have to do now is to go ahead, pick my dart first, and then I'm going to join the crotch of the, because as you can see I have 2 back panel and 2 front panel. So I'm going to join the crotch here for the front, join the crotch for the back, pick a dart in front, and then I'm going to cut band for the 2 of them. I've gone ahead and attached the band for the front. So all I did here was just to fold my fabric for the band, and then after picking my dart, I made sure to cut out what will be enough. So I'm going to just cut out the excess here. Remember, like I said, I want my band to be 2 inches after I'm done. So I have to cut out 5 inches on a fold, like 5 inches, then folded it into 2, so that when I tuck in half an inch on each end of this here, I can be able to, like, I tucked in half an inch on each end here, and then put this in between just like that and sewed it down. So you're going to put this inside of this and use half an inch to sew it down. So that's all I did for the waist of this here. The same thing for the back, but it depends on the size of elastic you're using. For this one I used about 3 inches because my elastic is like 1.5. So use 3 inches so that I can use half an inch to join it. And then I made the casing for my elastic. As you can see, I also have excess here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off that excess now, just enough to go around my pants. So now I'm going to pull my elastic out again. So you see, this is it here. So the back has elastic, the front has a band, but now all you have to do is to pull this elastic some more. You have to pull it enough to contain your waist. So this might be the elastic I end up using, because remember, this is elastic, it stretches, and since you didn't insert your waist measurement in front of the pants, you need elastic to be smaller just to help pull this together. You understand? You see, mine has got. So guys, just all I have to do now is to take this here and sew this down on this side on a straight line to the side of the pant. So I'm going to close up this side here, sew it down in a straight stitch, join the 2 crotch together this way. So you're going to also join the crotch together, and then also sew close this one. You're going to sew down both from this elastic, so the 2 waists will be joined together this way. and then you sew down from your elastic to the end. After that, you fold the ends of your pant. So that's basically how you're going to make this pant here. So I'm going to go ahead and join mine now and finish it up. It here, I've closed the side, folded the edge. So now I'm going to flip the pant to the right side. So guys, the reason why I like to use this method here is just because it gives you a flat tummy look, because of this band in front. But if you don't want to use your band, because imagine this band runs in front of your belly and then this elastic is at the back pulling the band, so it gives you this look of a flat tummy, and it's high waist, it has the dart in front. So that's basically the method for this pant. If you want a more detailed tutorial, I have where you can attach the pocket. If you want the pocket in front, if you want the pocket to the side, anything you want. If you want to attach just elastic all over, any method you want to use, you can just use it to make the short. I have several tutorials on this whole short, and that's basically it. And since you would want if you want to wear it like the thumbnail and leave the shirt open, you might want to have something that laps over on your belly like this. So that's why I made this like a band in front and then elastic at the back. So you can see all I have to do now is to apply the shirt and the button to the shirt, put in the buttonhole, and the two pieces done. It has a turn-up sleeve. So thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you guys next time. Bye.